So a note on the dowels to be used in the piece. So you'll note at measure 143-ish and around there, the score starts asking the lower three voices to put down the bow and pick up a dowel, much like this one. I will be bringing these, so you don't have to buy these. I'll be bringing like 6 of them, so in case one gets lost or breaks or whatever. So we'll have plenty of these. These are 3/8 inches or 1 centimeter by 12 inches or 30 centimeters. And if you don't have access to these for practicing, you can use something like a ruler. Something like this works just fine. The reason why I'm using dowels here is because in that section, the music is asking you to go back and forth from the bisbigliando, which uses basically all of your fingers, to some kind of col legno thing. And while I was trying this out on my own, because of how top heavy the bow is, it became very cumbersome to kind of go back and forth between these two things, especially if I'm not using my other fingers to hold the bow. If I'm using all of my fingers to bisbig, and then I got to regrip the bow and then bring it back, it took longer than I was hoping for. So my solution was to have a much lighter weight piece of wood that you can hit on the strings. So I figured these dowels would be really cool. And, there's also some really interesting sonic characteristics that these have too, which I won't go into here. But the main reason for these is sort of surprisingly a practical one. Even though it adds an extra dimension of logistics to the piece, I think that it actually, from a compositional point of view, I think it makes sense. So anyway, I'll be bringing these. Don't worry about it. In the meantime, you can practice with a ruler. You can practice with a pen if you want. A long one, a pencil, whatever works. But that's just a quick note about the dowels.